What's going on, guys? Alright, I know that the chat's not working and I don't know why. Um, I gotta figure all that stuff out still. Uh, some stuff that I gotta look into and stuff like that, 'cause something's going on. I don't know exactly why it's acting the way it is. Uh, I'll figure that part out. I'm looking through my settings right now to make sure I got everything set up, 'cause I haven't streamed in a long, long time. And I just want to make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to work. For some reason, the YouTube is not pulling up any live streams, which is kind of weird because it should be, and it's not. I had to go searching for this video, which is kind of weird. But I did find it. Yeah, actually, I don't even see anybody actually watching, so I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to work on some stuff, which is kind of weird. It says I'm the only one watching right now, which is crazy. It's just I don't understand why it's not working correctly. But it's okay. We will figure it out. Um as of right now, going to post it. I don't know. It just anyway, what we're gonna do here is we are going to animate. I've rigged the weapon. Um as you can tell already, the weapon is rigged already. Go ahead and go into pose mode real quick. Already are. Objective mode, object mode, and then we'll go back into pose mode. As you can see, everything is already rigged. Um, the thing that needs to be rigged that's going to move, and then we will start moving it the way we need to. You know what I mean? It's going to be pretty straightforward. Back here, we're going to grab all this here. Don't need the military character. So you can that way that gets where it needs to be. And we're going to take this. We're going to go G and Z up where kind of where we need to be at, and Y kind of where we need to be at, and then G and X somewhere close to where we're gonna be at. Let's see what it's like. And X, G, a little bit more. Boom. That's about where the weapon will be ish. That's what you will see on your screen. This is what you would see on your screen here. Your weapon being here, for all your hip fire stuff like that. And then everything else that you need to do. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply these transforms. I'm going to grab this, this, and I'm going to control A and apply those transforms. That way that pose um, is put in, because when I go to uh, grab the bone, when I go to pose mode, go here, the rest position needs to be the same, needs to be up here right now. Because if not, then once you hit that rest position, it's gonna pop somewhere else, and that's what it does when you take it back into Unity. So I had an issue where I put it on Unity earlier today, and the pose position was wrong. The rest position was wrong. So I had to fix that part of it. Then the animations got messed up. So now I have to redo all the animations that I did. I did quite a few animations, and I was really upset. When I put it into Unity and I saw that the gun wasn't going where it was supposed to go and all this other stuff. So now I'm having to redo all of my animations for all the weapons I've done, and it's really irritating because I found something out after I've already finished a couple weapons, and now I have to redo them all. So I just wanted to go live. I haven't been live in a while. I see there's another person watching. Thanks for watching. I know the chat's not working. I haven't streamed in a while, so I have to go through some settings, I guess. Try to figure out what the heck's going on. Um, if you're just joining us, this is Big Shot Studios. My name is Michael, and I'm working really, really closely with Mentalic. He's working on all the maps and stuff like that with me. Not to mention we're deving together. I'm helping him on a couple of new projects that he's got coming out. One going on Steam called uh, Builder Friends, I believe it's called, or Building Friends. Um, it's a really, really awesome game. Got that kid, that kid feel to it, and it looks like it's gonna be a learning kind of game for children as well. So, hopefully that'll be out uh, pretty shortly. And then there's also another game that we're all kind of messing around with that will be on Steam um, later this year. We're looking at possibly, mid 2025. We're not 100% sure exactly when it's going to come out, but it will be coming out. Um, what's that now? Fifth start of the channel. Zioma, if you are watching, man, I'll come out with a video about what's been going on and what happened with me and why I'm starting back up. So, um, or not technically starting back up, but you know, getting back into shape, I guess you could say. I mean, I guess I could do it here. A lot of things happened in the last few years where I went to go start up again with Big Shot Studios, and work just got too much, and it really kicked my ass. So I had to do a lot of self-preservating and I guess self searching, soul searching. You know what I mean? So I had to really really figure out what I wanted to do with me and gaming, and I've always come back to it. Even though I didn't post anything, I always done it. I stayed away from it for so long, and now that I'm coming back, it's just trying to wrap my head back around everything. But I got a comment just a few minutes ago on a video. It says, "Bro, that's like fifth start of the channel. Don't even bother." I hear what you're saying, um, but I am I'm not gonna not bother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this, and ain't nobody gonna tell me when I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to watch, don't watch. I don't mind. Is what it is. But I'm not gonna stop just because you said not to bother. Um, but again, thank you for your comment, and I consider your comment, but just know that ain't happening. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. So we start our animation flow. Um, Pretty simple. We'll go back into object mode real quick. We'll get the characters rig. As you can see, it's just a simple character um from Cinti. This is part of the military pack. I've deleted all of its extra bones, and I kept the hip bone and changed it to the root bone, lifted it all the way up to the neck. I put a camera bone on it. That camera bone actually controls this camera. Then I added my two IK bones and my two pole targets. And then I've also already added my inverse kinematics to it. Um, there is one other thing I need to do real quick before I forget. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get that real quick. For constraints, we're gonna say limit location. We're gonna turn all of these on real quick and turn it to local space. Then we're gonna do 0.05 G. Don't want to not move for some reason. Why is it not moving? Probably because it needs negative -0.05. There it goes. We're gonna actually go to point zero. There we go. That's for actually cocking the weapon. Um, that puts a limiter on it. I love that shit. That shit looks so good, and I love when it does that. Wish I could apply this right now. It's all good. Apply. There we go. Now it should. Why didn't it? Location. Yes. I hit apply. That was so stupid. -0.09. Sure it works. It limits the location. And we'll go back to object mode. Or pose. All right, so now that we got the weapon kind of where we want it to be, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pose this character to the weapon, and then we're gonna copy the rotation. I'm sorry, add it as a child to the weapon. That way, when you move the weapon, it moves the arms, it moves everything that it needs to move. So right now, we're just gonna get up here. We're gonna do a quick pose. E R. This will be quick and simple. Well, it's not gonna be quick and simple. It's gonna be because this is something that we are going to be using. Something I'm going to be using, I should say. This is for my game, Showdown. that stuff here. Second. There. Bit higher. That. And then what I was talking about with the child. Um, so you want to make this a child of the bone. So in the add constraints, we're going to do child of. We're going to get this. We're going to do Thomas rig. And then we're going to say the root bone and set inverse. So now when I move this root bone, it'll move the arm or the hand with it, which in turn moves all the objects here. All right. Fix some of this stuff. A little bit off of that. You're not gonna see that. And I'm gonna get this hand over here. Bring this down. Z. Fix that in just a second. Go. Fix the twisting of that. I know that's pulling on the arm, but just give me a second. Uh, Just working on this stuff real quick. Gonna get it right. It's pretty dang close. Let's see. Actually, right. That. This is not supposed to be weapon like this. That'll be alright. There we go. That's much better. It's the thumb. Alright. Much better. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see where it's not supposed to be, but that'll actually work pretty decent. I like it. Alright, so now we are pretty much posed where we need to be now. Arms down so they don't look funky. Um, as long as your camera stays where it needs to be, that's what you want. So you want your camera to be, where it's supposed to be, and then you can move your arms, which you're not going to be able to see it, from the camera itself anyway. So you position the arms how you need to position them as long as they're not visible. So like right now, the only thing that's visible is from here to the tips of these fingers and from here to the tip of the gun. So you can't really see anything past this side. So where you position these shoulders and stuff like that, it it does not matter. Like you can do whatever you need to do. I mean, shit, you could take this arm and put it way down here if you really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to. I'm gonna make it look pretty decent at least. I'm gonna kind of make something look like something, because then it starts to twist up the bones. It starts to twist up the uh the mesh and stuff like that. You don't want that. So I mean that's a basic pose there, for a hip idol. So we are going to actually get that here in just a second. I'm actually going to keyframe this in just a second, and I'll do a quick keyframe right now. Go into animations, and I'll show you how I put my stuff together. Uh, I work with 4 windows. Keep that down there. Let's come down just a little bit. These 4 windows are actually vital for the animation process. Um, this real quick, cavity, and then I'm gonna turn off all the extra bullshit you don't need to see in here. So that way, all you see here in this screen is the what it would look like on camera. So once you have that, then you have this one. Down here, what I like to do is I want to put in my dope sheet, which will be my action editor. Close that off. As you can see, we have no actions just yet. And then the top one will be our graph editor. So graph editing has saved my life. It has saved my life, and I can actually edit all the keyframes from the graph if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. Um, Here in the animation links, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. Guess I do all these. I'm going to hit A for all. I'm going to create a new action, and this is going to be the character title. Make sure I hit that shield for saving. Um, and then I'm gonna come back over to here, make sure my cursor's there, hit I, and now I just keyframe everything that's happening in here right now. So this gives you a basic idle pose um, that you can go back to, and I will go back to this many times to make sure that um, uh, I could do different animations and I don't have to like try to put things back to where they used to be. So you make your idle pose. That way you don't have to do that again. Then I'll go Control Tab. Then it'll take me back to object mode. Get the rig for the weapon. Control and Tab again. Back to pose mode. Then we'll do a new one. It's going to be called FAMAS underscore idle underscore pose. On this one, all I'm going to do is the root bone. That way I have that idle pose because that root bone moves the right hand. Now, what I didn't do, I forgot. Let me go back into pose mode with the character weapon. So on the left hand bone or the left hand IK bone, I'm going to parent it or make it a child of this the magazine. So let me do that real quick. Child of magazine set. So now when I go back into the weapon, now you'll see it moves everything. And this is vital for animations. Um, it helps put the hands and arms and the weapon in certain spots that you would otherwise have to keyframe. And that's where it gets really tedious. This helps you alleviate most of that. So now that we got that, the first thing that I want to do is I want to go back to object mode and I'm going to hit all, control A, no, why did it do that? All transforms, A, all transforms, A, all transforms is, okay, now everything should go where I want it to go. Dang it, I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, Go back to pose mode. This should be in, nope, it's not in this rest position. I don't know why it's not, but it's okay. We'll just keep it in that position. T pose is not that bad. So now we have our rest position, or not rest position, our pose positions. We're gonna go into the weapon first and start doing some keyframes and stuff. Pose mode. All right. So now the next thing that we want to do is we want to make an idle animation. Simple, simple. So now what we'll do is we'll just copy this pose, and then we'll take off the extra wording and hit the shield to save it. Then what we'll do is we'll take it down to 60 frames, and then we'll go into the output properties. The output properties, you want your frame rate at 30. The reason being is because that's what most games are, is 30 frames. And we this our graph editor where we need it. Go. There we go. So now we got our graph editor all set up. What we're going to do is we're going to start keyframing this. So here, we're just going to go Shift D. We're going to take it over to 60. Then Shift D again, back to 30. And now over on 30, we're going to get that root bone. Make sure you're on your side. You could either do 5, 0. I think it's, let's see what it is. I don't know which one it is. Anyway, we'll do 0. I'll just hit the X, negative X side. That way I can start working with it. So what I want to do is I want to hit G and Z, and I'm going to shift and bring it down some. And then I'm also going to go R, shift, holding shift, and I'm going to rotate it some. That way what you see, I guess it would be smart if I turned on my keyframe. Make sure you're you're recording your keyframes. With the root bone, we're going to go G and Z, hold shift, we're going to bring her down. We're going to go R and shift, hold down shift, and do that. Now, when you do it, you'll see this, which is pretty awesome. You don't really need much on that. So what I'm going to do is here, I am going to get my X. So now I have that selected. So I double clicked it. It highlights all the keyframes in the X rotation. And then while hovering over here, I'm going to shift E, and I'm going to make, I don't even know how to say that, but it makes it loop basically. Now the next thing I want to do, this is where it kind of gets a little difficult because you got to kind of find where the oh, I'm sorry, is it the X rotation? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go G and Y, and I'm going to hold shift. And I'm going to kind of go up just a little bit further. Actually, I need to zoom in just a little bit more. I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. G and Y. We're going to give that. Then we're going to do this. I'm going to double click the X rotation and shift select the middle. That way we're not messing with that anymore. Go G and Y, holding shift, and we're going to pull these down. So now when you see it, now you see it kind of bouncing and waving. And then what I'd like to do is I'll go G and X, and I'll bring it out 15 frames, like so. So that. There we go. That fixes the frames to kind of see it. You know, it's waving up and down now, kind of giving like a little bit of a wave. All right, now that we got all that, we're gonna go back to this. We are going to click on that, and we're going to our Z location. Give it a little bit. Shift E. Oh, Shift E. I mean, and G and Z. There we go. That looks better. Now you can kind of see more of the movement. And then we're going to get our X location. And we're going to go G and Y. We're also going to Shift and E, make cyclic. I guess that's called. So hard to nut. Then we're going to go G and Y. Now you can kind of see the magic happening. You got an X movement, you got a Z movement, and you got X rotation. So all in the same way. So and if you zoom out on this, you can kind of see the waves in this stuff. It's kind of hard to see in here. I don't know why, but there's waves in this, and that makes it like if I was to look at this, there you go. That might be able to show you a little bit better. Now you can kind of see the wave in it, and that makes it loop. So no matter where I put that at, it's gonna loop. It's really awesome. Now what I need to do is I need to make this a lot longer because it's a little too fast. So if I do 120 frames and then I say all and S, see to be there. Now I hate when it doesn't put it right on the line like it's supposed to. And now you got a slower idle animation now. And now that I have this animation done, that's the animation you will see in in Unity. That this is how it looks. So kind of gives the X rotation. I mean the X locations moving just slightly. You got the up and down movement and the rotation all in one shot. It's actually really cool. I love this. This is some of my favorite stuff to do. So as you can see, now you can kind of see the what the weapon will look like on camera. Oh. And again, this also has to do like with frame rate. So if I was to go 60, you'll see it go faster. 240, or let's go 120. You see it go a lot faster. If you put it at 30, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. All right, so we got that done. That is the first initial animation that we have keyframed right here. That's how you keyframe animations. Now we got the weapon animated. That's great and all, but now we need to animate the actual like arms and stuff like that. So arms have to be animated with it. The reason being is because you can't just take this weapon and these arms and throw them in Unity and throw the slap that uh what's it called, animation together. It just doesn't work that way. You know, the weapon will move, but the arms don't. Um, for some reason, these modifiers they only work here in Blender, so you have to actually animate both. That way, they both stick. But I usually don't start doing that until I've done uh, most of the animations for the weapon itself, because where it starts getting hard. Let me stop this. Where it starts getting difficult to do that is when you have so many animations in the list and you're trying to figure out which one to go back to. Um, so what I'm going to do right now, since we got the two idle poses and we got the famous idle, what I'm going to do just for this video's purpose is I'm going to show you how to do uh, the reload real quick. How I would do both the weapon and the character. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that together real quick. It's going to take a little time to do it, but we'll get it done. All right, so now what I'll do, and this is why I made these idle poses. What I'll do is I'll go back to the famous idle pose, and now we're back to this where we can start fresh on a new thing. We're going to duplicate this, so it's a new action, create new action. We're going to call this famous reload. We're going to save it. We're going to make this 60 keyframes for right now, and that might change later, but it's just something that I do so I have enough keyframes. Um, because there is a lot to do with when it comes to making animations as far as reloads go. You know, you got not only your poses that you have to do, but then you have to make sure your arms are doing the right things. You got to make sure you have enough time between transitioning with the weapon. You know, from pulling the um the magazine out to putting it back in, the pulling of the charge handle, the motion to bring back your hand. I mean, that can't just be a split second bam. It's there. It's got to take a little bit of, keyframing to get this all right. First thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to grab all the bones. That would be all the bones. So hit an A in here and say an I to get everything on there. Then what I'll do is I will shift D, take it over to 60, shift D, and take it over to 30. Now, the reason for this is because when you're doing this, you want to go from here back to there at the end of the frame. The reason why you put it in here on the middle of the frame is so that way you can, make your adjustments and stuff like that from the idle position, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna move some stuff around. I'm gonna keyframe this stuff real quick. We are going to do R and Y, R X, whoop, A, G and Y, and now you're gonna see the arm start stretching. That up like that. Might be a little too much. Might be a little over exaggerant, but it's all good. So once we're like that, then we are going to take the magazine. The magazine is going to be completely out. You're not going to have the magazine in there at the middle frame. Rotate that right there. rotate it here. As you can see, the arms are doing whatever they can do. But this is the view you see. Again, you don't see anything else. You see your fingers, but you don't see anything else. And that's why, working with first person is so much easier than working with third person when you're doing animations because you don't have to worry about so much when it comes to first person. So you'll see the workflow here. Boom, boom. And this is where it's going to get crazy. So because we need what's it called? We're going to take this, we're going to shift D over to 10. So that way you don't see an immediate, there you go. Now you see it. 60 frames, boom. Sorry, I just got a text message, y'all. Um, so right here is where I will start my rotations and my movement. So I will do GY and I'll start to move it there. That way I can remember when to take the hand off the weapon. So this is about the time, right about here, is when I want the magazine to be grabbed. So we'll do Shift D just on the magazine and pull that over. That way the magazine's still in there. Magazine's still going to be in there here as well, I think. Control D or Shift D, I mean. And what I'll do on this is this is where I'm going to be G and Z. And the next frame, this, it's a rotation. Very next frame, another rotation to pull it out. So you'll see. And now it needs to come straight down though, instead of that. So this down here, you'll see it. Boom. That's why this needs to stay over here. And now you'll start seeing what I'm doing. You'll start seeing me put this back in where it's supposed to go. And I'll start working on it right here. Why it did this. Doing. Rotate. There you go. I need to rotate it on the weapon. Okay. So now what it's going to do is it's going to kind of push the weapon up at this point. So right here, I want to take and go GZ up just slightly. Right here. GZ down just slightly. At this point, the magazine should be back in the weapon. Now you got that rotation. And then right around here, you want the weapon. So we're going to do this. E, D. So around 50, we will do R. We're going to give it a little bit of a rotation down. G and Y. E and X. And this right here, if D, just for now, this will be there. Here. As you can see, this gives time for the hand to come back. So that's pretty much the entire like workflow of this. So let's play from the beginning. So you can see set up just a little bit more. All right, so let's take this. We're gonna go here. We're gonna take this here. This will be here. So we'll do that. Um, why is that moving so much? That might need to go away. There you go. That's what I wanted. And I know it looks a little funky right now, but I was doing this to show you what you have to do for both arms and the weapon. So once I have all that, what I want to do is I want to get. That's pretty cool. It looks like I made letters in here. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to object mode, and I'm gonna get these bones here, and I'm gonna go to pose mode. So and then I'm gonna do a character hips reload. That way I don't get them confused, and I'll change the other one as well. So again, want your arms, Shift D, all the way to 60. So about when you start to move weapon, you want to get your G and Y. You kind of make it look like you're moving your hand. It ain't got to be nothing special. It's just make sure it does not clip. All right, at that point, you need your hand on the mag. I mean, it doesn't have to, again, it doesn't have to be nothing special. Just on the mag. You want to make sure that it stays with the mag because um it will try to slip it. Like right there, see? And it doesn't have to be like groping the mag or anything like that. It just has to be with the mag. You're not going to see it. Now in something like TPS, a little different. So at this point, this needs to be up here. I'm gonna flip this around. I'm gonna make it look like we're grabbing this. Well, it looks like that. There we go. That looks better. Now we'll to where it's not flipping. Make it look like it's grabbing it. All right, and then we want to take this, do it again, right here again. Want to make it look like it actually grabbed it and pulled it back. See, it's starting to get a little bit more funky. Just doing a quick workflow right now. Gonna make it look like I pulled it all the way back. Can take this, pull this back here. At this point, arm needs to be coming down off of here. Down where you can't see it. You boom, and nothing clips. And now I will fix the cameras stuff. Camera bone should be at the bottom, I think. Yep. Okay. So camera bone, and we take right here. We want the camera bone to go down. So it's going to go G and Z. slightly down, and then the next frame, we're gonna go G and Z, go above it, and then we're gonna take old frame and put it right after it. So you'll see like a little glitch in the camera, and make it look like it's pulling the what's it called? Pulling the mag out. There you go. And then when it's putting it back in, right about there, we're gonna go up and then down again. Need these. Or that might be a little too fast, but I think I can work with it. But that's the reload um functionality or workflow for animations. You do both, where you can actually. Hey, hold on, I just saw something I didn't like right there. It looks much better. So now, what you would see on the camera is this right here, and that's what you would see inside Unity. Awesome, right? Hey guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for the last whatever it's been, 30 minutes or something like that, 45 minutes. Really appreciate you. Maybe it's been an hour. I don't know. Yep, a little bit over an hour. Appreciate it. Um, I saw a couple of you pop in. Hopefully, we can keep doing this because we'll start having some fun doing this. I'm gonna show off some more later. Hit y'all. Peace.